What is going on, everybody? Lukey Boy here. Today we're going to be talking about art blocks, and again another kind of short video on a specific NFT collection, although this is slightly different. It does have multiple collections that fall under the art blocks kind of generative art kind of group, or whatever you want to call it. You can go ahead and search it yourself and have a look into it. But what is art blocks? Because art blocks is an interesting one. It's not like most other NFTs. It's based around art, clearly the title, right? And art blocks have different creative pieces of work or generative art pieces of work that are basically minted from their website. Obviously it goes into OpenSea after, and it's from different people. It could be like computer generated, it could be from different artists, and so on and so forth. So you can go ahead into their website and actually just look through it yourself, and you can kind of see the different kind of things that are coming out or that are already out at the moment, and you can see they kind of all look different. There's different people doing different things, but on OpenSea it looks like this. So you can actually find art blocks under a couple of options. If you see here, you've kind of got three to work with. You've got art blocks curated, art blocks playground, art blocks factory. They all will have slightly different stuff falling under it, but if you just go onto the art blocks curated, you can see here, there is a bunch of different pieces from different people. Just going into some of them here, just so you can sort of see the value of some of these, 9.25, 2.3, and you even find the fidenzas under here, which are, can anyone spot the fidenzas? They should be, I will find it, fidenza, yeah, fidenza here. These are 90th floor, so that's the only one that has that. And yeah, there's some that are kind of nicer than others. Some of them are, in terms of art, or some of them are a little bit more funky in terms of something like a vortex. Some of them are a little bit more art-based, like they actually kind of look like a painting that you would have on the wall. Maybe that, maybe not. A lot of this is subjective as well, so you've got to kind of look at the story. You've got to look at the person behind it. You can see here it's by Matt Kane, this one here, and they all have different people that do it. But what's interesting, just to kind of go over, is there can be money to be made in these. Now, they don't move as fast that often. Some of them, will. They take a little bit more time, but they usually hold their value a bit better than traditional NFTs. Why? Because they're solely based on art. They're not like a project that needs to generate income and release announcements on a weekly. If they miss the deadline, the floor price tanks, and all that kind of thing. It's a little bit more for people that aren't looking to get rich quick, for example, or look, oh, why is the floor going down? It's not quite like that because it's based around art, which is again subjective. So it's like, how would you go? Why is the floor? Well, people decided to sell. There isn't really anything that's coming to a project, any of these individuals, that would necessarily cause that transition of like fear in the market or not. Of course, prices go up and down, right? Just like everything, but just something to obviously be aware that this is in a way a little bit more calming for the soul. Yes, it doesn't move as fast, but because there isn't as much sort of unknowns, variables that could be influencing this project, or that projects. So something that I looked at the other day, I'm not sure if it's going to show up on here, but basically it was this glass. I came on about a week ago. I looked at this and I was like, oh, that looks quite cool, right? Like, because not all of them are going to be aesthetically pleasing. Obviously, it's subjective. Like, I like this. It looks cool. Like, it looks nice. Not to say that, well, it's just a digital piece of art. Why? It's not, no one cares where the value comes from as such. It's the fact that it is there. Like, if you run, if you run any business, you don't wonder, well, why are people buying that? You more look at why are people buying that in terms of like what are they seeing that maybe I'm not. So these look quite nice, like in terms of what could be released. Again, we just showed you here. Looking at these things, they don't look as nice, in my opinion. Again, my opinion, right? But you if you kind of like follow these, you'll be able to track, is your thought process correct in terms of what you're thinking? Like, out of all these three, this is probably the nicer one, right? All these three, maybe this one. All these three, probably this one. Not to say that I like or love them, but I'm just kind of giving you and there's helicopters going around. What's all this noise doing? And most of these I don't like at all. But I quite enjoyed looking at this. It looks really cool. It might be that your kind of viewpoint is actually not that important. It mightn't be that great. So you don't just go ahead and buy stuff, track it. For example, you can see here how it works in terms of the price. It starts at 2 ETH and it goes all the way down every so often until this point. And what happens is, as the price is falling, people can then buy it. So you could decide, I'm going to buy it at 2 ETH right away. But if there's 300 available, you could see the number there, 300 to 300, and you'll be able to see that number change as people mint. So at some point, it'll be like 30 left. And you'll be able to decide, oh, maybe I want to get in now. And I looked at the prices of glass in terms of the price people minted it at. and it was at like 0.2. This guy 0.3, this is 0.3, but I saw a 0.24, something like that. I don't want to go into it too much more detail, but you can kind of see 0.24. So this is the prices people minted it at, 0.24 there. And you can currently see that the floor price is 0.3. Now yesterday it was actually at 0.4. Is that yesterday? Yeah. So here, 24th. So if you go down to somewhere around here, 0.3 actually I think it was. But there was ones obviously selling for a bit of a premium because a lot of this is subjective, so you can squeeze out a bit more ETH if there's the right buyer. Of course, there's a bit, of like, what is classified as the best, but it doesn't matter. Ultimately, if you got it in 0.24 and you sold it at 0.35, you made a little bit of profit. And not to say this won't in the long term obviously go up at some point. But in theory, like my thought process was like, good. Like I liked it, I enjoyed it. There's only 300 in the collection, which is very, very low. Of course, if you want to go into read about who's done the project, details about it, you can go and spend some time researching that. I'm not going to go into this video on it, but there's definitely potential long-term value in these things because I will show you something that I minted a little while ago. So here we go. So this was 8 months ago or something. I actually minted this. Again, isn't the most beautiful of NFTs that I could have got, but if you see what I did here, I minted it for 1 ETH. You can't see what the price is, but I minted it for 1 ETH and I sold it the next day for 1.9. And then someone actually instantly sold it again like a second later, but it doesn't matter because that was what I was happy to do. Obviously something like that looks a lot cleaner and a lot nicer, right? If you get what I mean. So you might get a rare one and beautiful if you do. If you don't, then you can still potentially make a profit, or you can hold it if the mint price is not potentially a lot of ETH, like the entry cost to get it, not maybe this one, but glass, and you really enjoy it. While art blocks usually have their time in the light, depending on the project. And I'll quickly just jump over onto a couple of these. That was the bent one actually that I flipped the other 8 months ago. And if you go ahead and look at the activity, you can see it's very sporadic. It's like 10, then there's like almost no sales in these gaps, so usually the price is quite low. You start getting a pump 18, a couple of days of sales, and it pumps up because the floor is very, very thin, 0.935. Well, instantly it goes to 1.3, and then down here it's 2.2. So you only need like 12 and you're already at 2 ETH from 0.93. So you don't need a lot of activity to actually move these, because a lot of people enjoy them and they're holding them for the long term, so there isn't as many on sale. And if you want to see, there's 1,000 here of this, and you can see if you could buy now, I guess 180, I have no idea, 52. Not many on sale because people like to hold these because they're seen as a longer term investment, but it doesn't mean you haven't got a bit of fun flipping them if that's your potential play, like that's what you're looking for. And obviously the way I would do it is just wait for a massive prolonged period of basically very little sales. Get in here at 0.9. You could even get in. Well, you could even put a bid in. See these bids? 0.6 someone sold one for. Did he flip it? No. Interesting. 0.6 someone got out. And you could get out like 0. You could literally just go 0.9. And it might not sell right away because of the volume. Or you could wait until there's a little bit of a pop, list it, and make some profit. So I'm going to leave the video there. A bit too long for me on this one. Don't want to waste too much more time of yours. But hopefully you've got a light overview on art blocks. Yes, I haven't gone into detail. That's not the point of this video. It's just to give you, get you accustomed to what it is. Any questions, let me know. Any suggestions, let me know. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.